Now there are many wonderful shiny things available out there now in this world of gaming that we inhabit, this golden age, but you can end up with an empty wallet and full shelves. So it just got me thinking, what do I actually need? Now, Pirate Borg, I believe is available. What my game group did, I was struggling with Dungeon Crawl Classics. It's a bit of heavy lifting when it comes to running it online for me. So I said I'm struggling with it, and one of my players, Pedro, suggested, well, I wouldn't mind if one of my characters became a pirate. So we'd already gone through a couple of one-shots of Pirate Borg, and I was looking through the character classes, and I thought, well, this is a cleric, this is a warrior, this is a wizard. It fits perfectly. All the rules are in here. I can just use this one tiny game, which I already have, to carry on the campaign. And so far it's been awesome. Not only does Pirate Borg contain all the rules you need, it's got loads of monsters, a whole sandbox setting, and just so much generative material. I've not run this solo, but it's got everything you needed in here. It's a full, complete game, and it's so simple and so straightforward that the rules don't get in the way of the adventure. Now, I hope it is available in physical form and PDF form currently. It's a little vague whether it is or not, but I hope Limithron can really get some zeitgeist here when people are looking for interesting new games that are just complete, everything in one book, and it's going to be brilliant fun to play. So yeah, our campaign is currently moving forward with Pirate Borg, and that is awesome. We converted from DCC. Now, the other campaign I'm currently running is Mutant Crawl Classics. Now, it's a great science fantasy game. It's more cleanly laid out than Dungeon Crawl Classics, I think. It's full of good stuff. It requires other, I think it requires the really good adventures that Goodman Games and third-party publishers put out to give flesh on the bones kind of thing. But it's a great fun game, and you can get into it because of the mutant thing. You can get into the silly charts and things. It just adds to the fun. So yeah, as long as you don't shell out for every single alternate cover that Goodman Games bring out. I mean, it's all very well for them, but how much money have you got? I'm not certainly going to buy any more of it. So yeah, another great game that brings in your science fantasy stuff. But if I think my go-to classic fantasy would be White Box, and the rules are very simple. I've got this little White Box expanded lore thing, which so yes, you can be a gnome, and little things like that. We were all concerned about being able to be gnomes, so we need that in our lives. And so we've got the human, dwarf, elf, halfling, gnome, half-orc, all the bits and bobs you need. Plenty of extra little rules in here, as you can see on the index page, all the contents there. A wonderful, simple version of Dungeons and Dragons based on the classic olden times version. William McCausland did all the art in White Box on the inside bits, and it has a wonderful consistent quality to it. It is very simple. It has the classic swords and wizardry single saving throw, but it does have the option to make that more complicated if you want it. But all the monsters, all the classes, all the instructions on how to put all your magic items in there, and a wonderful little compact game. I'm really into digest size games right now, so that's another wonderful little game that I really like. Now, Death in Space is a thing that's available these days, but I really like the Pirate Borg, Merc Borg system, but I already have those Dark Places, and this is a fun little game. Again, almost my favourite kind of size of game book, but I have mentioned before this wonderful little game. All of the rules can be fit onto this little rule sheet which I've printed out, because this is full of flavour text which gets you into the feel of the game. But all the rules are basically here. It's that simple, and Jonathan Hicks has written several really intriguing adventures for it, quite dark, quite sinister, going for that sort of feel. Wonderful for one-shots and I don't know, possibly short campaigns, but I've run this once with a group and it was really good, and so I really would like to run it again. And so this makes me not want to spend £30 on Death in Space, because if I want that kind of game, it's going to be here, and I feel more comfortable with fantasy and science fantasy rather than sci-fi. So this little game sort of suits me, and so it prevents me from spending more money on another game which I might not get all the use out of. So we've covered fantasy, sci-fi and pirates, which includes all the fantasy stuff, and this is RuneCan for our solo stuff. Now I did a campaign with RuneCan which is on my channel, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to cover it anymore because familiarity breeds contempt, as I saw from the amount of unlikes on the videos as they went on. But I really enjoyed running RuneCan. It's a complete solo system in one book. If you get Warden Saga, rather, which is what this is from Exalted Funeral, it contains all of the rules you need to create your characters, all of the monsters you want, all the classes, and all of the solo rules way back here. So here's all your charts to create your solo adventures, and a complete adventure in the back, Quest for the Broken Sword, or Beneath the Broken Sword I should say. A nice complete bestiary of all the monsters that have been covered so far, and based on Cairn, which is a fantastic game, and Odin's Beard has created a masterpiece of solo gaming. It really suits me. It's Souls-like, and it includes also Norse mythology, so that's the ideal spot for me. So I really enjoyed running this, and yeah, I hope to do some more gaming with it off the channel, perhaps some journaling stuff, but I haven't got around to, with changing jobs and stuff, my brain has been everywhere. But I really enjoy RuneCan. I think it's great. And that brings us to board games. And I know every independent games designer is wanting to have a successful game and make their money back and their investment and so forth, and they're expecting you good-hearted game players to go in for their projects. But really, we've only got so much space, we've only got so much disposable income, and so these are some of my favourites which I really enjoy regularly. There's loads of criticism about the Cards of Cthulhu. People say, oh, you've you've got no choices, blah blah blah, it's all random, yeah, but it is relaxing and I enjoy playing it. It's just a relaxing game. Hits the road nice and simple, nice and random. Horrified's a great game. I love playing it two-handed with two characters. I think that is a lot nicer balance than the official solo game. So just playing two characters is really fun with that. Escape the Dark Castle, a classic old school adventure dungeon crawl. Ravage Dungeons and Plunder was my first ever Kickstarter that I backed, and it's a wonderfully colourful game with loads of standees and stuff, and a very small footprint, and it's really great. Forbidden Island, it's a classic game. I mean, maybe the theme could have brought something more out, but it really is a really nice game. Another one to play two-handed. Crypto Chaos, lovely and random, not very expensive, but really, really good fun. And when you play cautiously and maybe have a lucky win, it's very satisfying indeed. Seven Moons, tiny game, but epic adventure in this tiny box, full of incredible components, and I cannot believe the ridiculously low prices it sometimes comes out at. Zombie Island, a tile laying game. It's to do with zombies, so I'm going to like it. Alien Fate of the Nostromo, bit of a, not really a dungeon crawl, but a bit like Horrified, but not quite, and it has the crafting element, so you find lots of pieces of scrap and you build the things you need. Rogue Trooper, back from 1980. Let's have a look. 1987, and I still think it's a really nice, well-designed overland adventure game. The solo rules, which are available somewhere online, they originally came out in White Dwarf magazine. They were designed by Richard Halliwell, and they're really, really good. The balance of the game is really nice, even though it's loads of dice chucking. Space Marine Adventures, which was available in our game shops in the UK, and Dark Souls the card game, which was weirdly I really like. And City of Zombies is another game I play a fair bit. Nice and simple, roll lots of dice, use the power of maths to defeat the zombies that are encroaching on your safe area and trying to kill your survivors until the rescue plane arrives and you can escape and everything's cool. Another fun game with lots of options, very simple, and good old, let me move the camera here, Mistfall. Not for everybody. Some people find it very fiddly and very irritating, and I found it took me over a year to even learn how the game worked, but now I'm hooked on it, and I do really enjoy a game of Mistfall. I do like that. So basically, there are so many things out there, but we all have a budget, we all have space. So if you find the things you love and another thing comes out which something you've already got does very well, then you don't have to buy everything, and we can't buy everything, can we? So yeah, for my own benefit, and anybody else who's in a similar situation and thinks there are so many things out there, and we can't buy them all. And so if you find something you really like in a particular genre, yeah, stick with that. You don't have to buy the shiny new version or the alternate take on, So if you want your classic fantasy gaming, it's all in this not very expensive book, and your basic fantasy is absolutely free, of course, and so yeah, FOMO, who needs it? Yeah.